Hello, and welcome to the Joy of Painting Middle-earth. I'm Timbo, and I'm happy you've joined me. Today is going to be a very special episode of the Joy of Painting Middle-earth. And you probably know why. Today is September the 22nd. That's right, Mr. Bilbo and Mr. Frodo's birthday. Now, as part of the Hobbit Day celebration, a number of YouTubers who celebrate the works of Tolkien all year long have gotten together and they're making a playlist. And that playlist is #HobbitDay. That's right. And you can find videos from great YouTubers like Nerd of the Rings, Geek Zone, History of Middle-earth. Oh, those names are so fun. That's right. They do videos that discuss Tolkien lore and talk about upcoming events in the Tolkien universe. That's right. It'll be so much fun. So as you watch my video, afterwards go and watch theirs and give them a like and a subscribe and a share, just like you would with me. What we are going to do is we're going to come in. Oh, I almost forgot to mention. And this little channel has just hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it so very much. I love that you all come and watch me paint, and some of you even paint along with me. And you've shared some of those paintings. I'm so impressed. It's so amazing. And that's what I try and do, is we just take the most fantastic landscapes that Middle-earth has to offer, and we paint them right here for you, week after week. Normally it's on Fridays, but today is a Tuesday. Oh, that's right. Now, as I promised, we were going to come back into this painting. We did this a few weeks ago, Gollum's Cave, and it was a bit of an impromptu painting, because the painting I had planned that morning was going to be on a white canvas. And when I looked around the Hobbit hole, I had half as many as half of what I thought I had, and I hadn't thought I had that many at all. That is, I only had one black canvas that morning. So we just looked through, Mr. Bilbo's Tale, and we found the chapter Riddles in the Dark. And that's when we painted this one. You can go and watch that one if you want to get a head start on this painting. And then, as I promised, once it was a little bit dry, we'd come back in and we'd put our Gollum, our Mr. Gollum. Oh, that old villain, as my Gaffer Gamgee used to call him. He'd say, he was a stinker, Timbo. We're going to put him right on this rock today. So, if you're ready, grab your paints and your brushes, and let's go on an adventure. All right, so we're going to start off, and we're using smaller brushes today. You know, normally I like to use big brushes and do big landscapes with mountains and trees and things, but these ones are always fun to do too. So I'm going to come in to my ivory black, and I've got just a few colors and just a little bit of color on here. We're not doing much today. So I've got my ivory black, my burnt umber, that's my brown color, my ultramarine blue, titanium white, and cadmium lemon. Those are the colors I'm using today. And what I'm going to do is the first thing I'll do is I'll come in and we're going to put a silhouette of Mr. Gollum. Now, of course, as I said, in the book, if we were to paint this just as it was portrayed, all we would see is 2 dots of light from Mr. Gollum's eyes. That's right, we wouldn't be able to see any of this. So we're just pretending, using our imagination and putting a little bit of light down there. So we say that Mr. Gollum is sitting right on this rock right here. So we're just going to start with a peanut shape. That's what I like to call it. Let's just put a peanut on our canvas. There we go, look at that. Look at that, and we can fill this in. And we're using oil paints. The normal technique we use, of course, was taught to us by a wizard, the Blue Wizard, Bob Ross the Blue. That's right. That's right. Bob Ross the Blue used to come to the Shire and teach all of us how to paint once a week when we were very young hobbits. That's right. That's right. So I use Bob Ross the Blue's techniques, which is a wet-on-wet technique. That's what we do most of the time, but this one has dried a bit. sometimes with these finer details, it might be a little more difficult if this was all wet, so I let it dry, and then we can come back into it. You can come back in and change your paintings however you would like. All right, and then this is a chicken leg here. That's right, Mr. Gollum's leg. There we go. And we just fill this in. We'll come back and we'll shade this in a little bit more with some more details. But again, I'm better at painting mountains and clouds and trees. Some of these details, I'm sure there are much better artists out there who might be watching and going, "Oh, Timbo, what are you doing? What are you doing? You don't know what you're doing." And you're right, I don't. I'm just having fun. Just trying to show you that you can have fun too. That's right. I'm just a fan of Bob Ross the Blue. I just watched his shows and tried to do what he did when he would come and do 'em for us. That's right. That's right. So, there we are. There's that old villain's foot. That's a big old foot right there. There we go. And of course, he's got his gangly arm that comes right here. And like I said, we're just putting in the silhouette right now. Just putting in the silhouette. Oh, and then of course, we have to put a head on him. And we put a neck out there. There we go. He was a gangly creature, that's right. Mr. Bilbo had pity on the creature. That's right, but I'm sure Mr. Bilbo didn't know what trouble this would have caused. There we go. Let's just put a head right on him there. Right on him there. And then maybe his arm is coming down over here. He is not somebody you'd want to meet in the dark. It was dark enough down there without having to worry about one of these guys. Oh, Mr. Bilbo was surprised. That's right. There we go. Just putting in the shape of this creature here. Now, when I did this technique originally, what I did was I put down liquid clear onto a black canvas, and that just gave us a wet surface to paint right on top of. Yes, it did. So, now, and let's put his other big old foot out here. That's his heel right there, and that's kind of hidden by that part of the rock. There we go. There's that villain. Oh, right there. And maybe you can see part of his big old ear right here. There we go. Now, we could leave it just like that. Maybe put in some glowing eyes there and that'd be done. But let's go and give him just a little bit more detail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash off my brush. And of course I use odorless paint thinner. That's right. That's right. And then most days what we do is we beat the Sauron out of the brush and get it all clean. But we don't have to do that with these small ones. We just kind of tap on it. So maybe we're fighting an orc, beating the orc out of the brush on these little ones. All right, let's go. Let's see what we can do. Okay, we're pretending there's light coming in on this side. There we go. So we want to highlight those edges. Maybe his shoulders and his forehead and the front of his arm. And we're going to come into our titanium white. There we go. We don't want it that bright. We don't want it a super bright white. So what we'll do, maybe we'll see what color this gives us. We just get a little bit of brown, our burnt umber, and I'm just going to start right off the corner there and knock most of it off of my brush, and then come in, Now, that might be... Oh, he had a little loincloth he wore, because even Mr. Gollum had a little bit of decency, I guess. Or maybe it was just left over from long ago. So we can just put the presents, put that in there so you can see. Oh, even old Mr. Gollum has some sort of decency. Just a shred of it. Oh, that's right. Okay. Now, let's come back to our titanium white. Get some more of that. We'll start in a different spot here. And we'll just get a touch of blue. Touch of our ultramarine blue, because that seems to be the majority of the light we have there. There we go. So we get that. Let's come in, and you're going to see some of the light will catch his forehead here. And the side of his face. Now again, you might be a much better oil painter than me. I'm really just still learning, and I just thought we could learn together. So, come up. There we go. Just tap that in. Oh, Mr. Gollum. He was an angry creature. Now, one of the things with old Mr. Gollum was his eyes. Bilbo could see his eyes. They glowed in that cave. If you have ever come across a creature in a cave like that, their eyes had a bit of a glow. That's right. So what we'll do is we'll come and we'll give him these eyes that seem to be peering out at us. That's right. Thin out your paint if it's not going to stick the way you want. It's not going to stick the way you want. Thin it out a bit. There we go. Come back in, and we'll give him his eye here. There we are. Now, come back here. And when you have that, just give a little bit of a brow. And a nose. And just he's got his nose and his chin. Maybe the tips of his ears catch a little bit of light. There we go. And his shoulder here. Need to thin that out again. I can't express that enough. I can't express that enough. Just get that real thin. And then there we go. And this just takes a light, steady touch, which I don't have much of. That's right, I don't. I'm not one of those great artists. I just do what I can, that's right. And I haven't had second breakfast yet, so I get a little shaky too. Oh, yes. You can hide that more if you're a bit hungry. You can hide that more when you're doing a big old mountain and the canvas is helping you so much on that. So let's just round out his back here. Right down that spine. There we go. This is our Gollum. There we are. Go back for a little more. There we go. That's our Gollum creature. That's our Gollum creature. There we are. There we go. And this is one of those where I was so excited that I started right in on his face. And when I did that, I was still trying to learn and practice how this paint was going to come off the brush this morning. But it's okay, it's okay. We can come back in and just kind of touch this up. There we go. This is our Gollum creature. You make them however you want. There we go. And let's come just again to some of our white and our titanium white. And he had those big eyes, you see. Oh, they glowed, they glowed. And we'll point out that ear just a bit more. And that one. That one too, that one too. All right, so you see we've added Gollum into this. Now, as I said, today was a very special day, and it's Hobbit Day. And as part of that celebration, we have our YouTube community that loves Lord of the Rings. And I encourage you, as well as watching my video, go check out theirs. Thank you for joining me on today's painting. I'm so happy you were with me. Now, if you'd like to continue to go on painting adventures with me, become part of my fellowship. And you do that by clicking that subscribe button below. Yes, and be sure to give it a like and a share. That would be oh so helpful. Now, we don't know how many of these seeing stones are unaccounted for. So we don't know who else is watching. I've got to go. Have a good day.